everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Now, earlier this week, our friends over at WatchSeries.com dropped an article that talks about 2 new castings for Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. Now, we're going to discuss both of them today, but one of them is an actress that we've talked about here on the channel before, and it's been, well, basically the focus of heavy speculation from the fandom for a very, very long time. But there's some new information in the article, and WatchSeries.com is able to find out what character she was playing and when she appears in the second season. So, stay tuned for all of that. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time show news. So anything and everything related to the Wheel of Time, that's what we talk about here. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell, like the video, and tell your friends. Let's grow the channel just a little bit. Now, I'm going to do some heavy speculation in this video, so I do have to give a spoiler warning, and it's a fairly hefty one. So, spoiler warning, in this video we're talking about certain elements of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, and I'm going to speculate on how the characters are going to fit into it. So if you haven't watched at least the first season of Amazon's show, that's the first 8 episodes, and read the first 13, yes, I'm saying the first 13 books of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, that's all the way up to and including Towers of Midnight, I'm going to ruin plot points, character arcs, and certain things from the novels up to that point. All right, all of that being said, let's get on to the video. All right, so earlier this week, on What Wednesday, Wheel of Time series dropped an article, and I've left a link to that down below in the description box, and I highly recommend you folks go and check that out when you're done the video. Bookmark their page, go back a whole bunch. Not only are they friends of mine, they come out with an absolute ton of Wheel of Time news and leaks. I would say they're probably responsible for 80% of all of the castings that have ever been released for the show, and that includes the official ones. They give us more information than Amazon and Sony does, by far. I would trust them over official publications at this point. I'm kind of sad to say, but it's true. Now, the article is really good, but it does give us a little bit of information, like I said, on a couple of different actresses. The first one, Saleh, that's the blonde actress here, she was talked about a year ago. Now, Red Indian Intelligence, which is primarily a Witcher leaks website, released the fact that she'd be playing a role in Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, but they didn't say which role or what she would be doing, and there was a whole lot of speculation at the time. So I remember doing a couple of videos on it, and I reached out to a bunch of my contacts that worked for the show, and I was told that she plays a minor character. She has a couple of lines of dialogue, not much at all, and she's going to be in the tower, probably a novice or accepted. They didn't know really which, but she was definitely in the tower scenes, and that was where we'd see her. So lo and behold, we do have some information from WatchSeries.com. They looked into her CVs, and we got not only which episode she's in, what type of character she's playing, but the name as well, which is pretty neat. Now, earlier this week as well, which is kind of a big coincidence, this actress posted this on Instagram. Now, she posted, finally I can announce what I was actually doing in Prague last summer. Stay tuned. And she hashtagged Amazon Prime and Sony Pictures. So when we seen this, a lot of people started talking about it, including myself. I was like, well, we're definitely getting castings this week. We're getting something because if the actress is announcing something is coming and we already know she's in the show, she's tagging Amazon and Sony. It's kind of a no-brainer, right? We're going to get some casting. So I reached out to a couple of my contacts that work for the show that are close to the production team, and they were like, no, we're not getting anything this week, John. Nothing's happening. We're not dropping any news. In fact, they don't believe, this is a keyword here, they don't believe they're going to drop much news in the next coming months, at least not until Lord of the Rings is done. There's no big push on marketing, so they don't think they're giving any castings this week, and we didn't get any. We didn't get anything, even though we were all kind of expecting it. Now, they did say that Amazon can change its mind. We may get some small things here and there. However, the chances are we're going to get anything real big is probably pretty slim to none at this point. So when that happened and we didn't get any real official castings, WatchSeries.com dropped their article because they had some information on this particular actress. Now, Saleh is a Danish actor. She's been acting since 2013. Sorry about that. I lost my voice there for a second. I've been talking a lot today. This is take like 412 of this video. And she's been in a bunch of stuff, but in her CV, it says that she's playing Elsa Treehill for Thomas Napper, who is going to direct episode 1 and 2 of the second season. And second CV, in the article that WatchSeries put out, states that she's playing a novice, which is completely in line with everything I was told about a year ago. Or I don't know. It's hard to think how far back it was. It was a while back anyway, at least before the first season aired. Now, it's really interesting that her name, if we go look here, is Elsa Treehill. So, Elsa Treehill. Now, we know in the first season, there was the Grinwell family, and Elsa Grinwell was supposed to have been played by Robin Betteridge. Now, right up until that episode aired, Robin and her team all thought that her character's name was Elsa. She read as Elsa. All the scripts said Elsa. Everything she had was Elsa Grinwell. And when the episode aired, they changed her name to Helga. And that's when they found that out, which was kind of interesting because if you go back at the time, and I have screenshots of it, all of the subtitles, because I have to watch things with subtitles on because I have hearing loss, stated her name was Elsa. So they didn't change the subtitles, but they changed the actual physical wording of her name in the audio, which was really interesting. Now, at the time, I thought that was kind of strange, but I thought maybe it's because Elsa's a little bit older in the books. She goes to the tower as a novice. She plays a small but very important role in a number of different plot lines in the book. So maybe they were kind of saving that for something else. Now that we see that Sally Saleh is playing someone named Elsa Treehill, I'm thinking they did this on purpose. They didn't want to confuse Elsa perhaps with Elsa. So I think that this character, this novice, is going to be a combination between Elsa Grinwell and Nicola Treehill. Now, if you don't know who Nicola is, she doesn't show up till later on in the book series. She shows up in the Fires of Heaven, and then she is in the book series right up until, I believe, about midway through the Towers of Midnight. Now, Elsa Grinwell is sort of this novice that is being impersonated by some things in the tower, and has some features with some of the Dark Friend plots in the story. So some of the Black Aja, things like that, she's not featured very heavily. She's mentioned a couple of times, and then she's pretty much gone. Nicola has a much more prominent role in the book series. She basically meets up with Elaine, Nynaeve, and Egwene when they're on their way to Saladar, and when they get to Saladar, she's there with the rebels the entire time, and she basically tries to blackmail Egwene. And she's central to the plot of Egwene's capture in the tower, and a bunch of different things going on there. So I'm kind of wondering if perhaps they took those two characters, and even though Nicola has a much larger feature in the books, and kind of cram them together, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to see something in the first couple episodes where Nicola will turn them over to Liandrin or someone else, and that's why they will end up going to Falme. Now, that's just spitballing. I have no idea if that's absolutely true or not, but I think it's kind of neat to speculate on things that may happen, especially since we don't know a whole lot about Season 2 at this point. Let's face it, I know less about Season 2 now than I did about Season 1 a month after I started my channel. So they've closed up a lot of the leaks quite well, so we don't know a whole lot about it. So I want to hear what you folks think. How do you think this particular character, this novice, is going to be portrayed in the show? Now, remember, I've been told she only has a couple of lines of dialogue. She's not really central to the much plot, but a lot of people are really enamored with her character already. Do you think that she'll be in the plot when Liandrin takes the girls out of the tower? Do you think that she'll be doing something different, or will she be sort of like a featured extra, kind of like Helga Grinwell in the first season? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now we're going to talk just a bit about the second casting that What Series put out. All right, so the next actress we're going to talk about is Yuri Yamanika. Now, she is playing Min's aunt in the series. Now, Yuri is an actress that's been acting since 1998, and she's done a ton of different things. Everything from stage acting to television to movies, you name it, she's done it. And she's very talented and very good at what she does. Now, her CV does state that she is going to be acting under the direction of Sana Hamri, who is going to direct episodes 3 and 4 of the second season. So this does give us a little bit of information. Now, we know in the book series that Min has 3 aunts, and we don't really get to interact with them, but they're mentioned a couple of times in the books. We know that she grew up with them, she has them, so it's kind of interesting they're showcasing them in the show, like they're showing them on screen in the show, because they're very minor characters that don't really have any book time. But I imagine what's going to happen is that Min is probably going to try to go home to her family after leaving Faldara at the end of the first season. So it does give us a little hint of where the second season is going, because we know that Thomas Napper is going to direct the first 2 episodes. They're going to be very tower heavy as far as we know, considering all of the leaks and evidence and castings we've had for them. Not necessarily just the tower, but we know we're going to be in the tower a fair bit. Episode 3 and 4, now we do know that Min is going to be home with her family and meet her family most likely, because they probably wouldn't introduce the aunts without Kay Alexander, who plays Min, on screen. So my guess is that after the events of Season 1, at the end of Episode 8, when Min leaves Faldara, she probably makes her way home. So we may not see Kay Alexander until perhaps the beginning of Episode 3 or sometime during Episode 4 when she meets her family. Now, how this fits into the general overall plot of the second season, I have no bloody idea. Let's put it this way. They've been very good at keeping their secrets for Season 2. I've mentioned that a number of times, and I probably mentioned it earlier in this video too. So it's really neat when we get small tidbits like this that let us put small puzzle pieces together. The picture is slowly becoming more clear for Season 2, but realistically, we really don't have any idea how it's going to fully come together just yet. So I want to hear your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. So how do you think Min's aunts feature into the show? Do you think Min's going home? Do you think you'll see flashbacks to Min's youth, perhaps? How do you think that works? Anyway, thank you so very much for sticking with me here to the very end. And here's to many more.